You may think you have got to be the loudest person in the room to put a narcissist in their place, but that is not the case. In fact, being loud can have the opposite effect. It feeds the narcissist's ego, doesn't it? It gives them fuel. Your emotional outbursts, your reactions, even your attempts to call them out, all of that makes them feel powerful. Why? Because they thrive on the supply they get from riling you up. What they're actually terrified of is a quiet person, a silent person, someone who does not give them that satisfaction. In today's episode, we are going to talk about why your silence is the one thing that can throw them completely off their balance. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Today's episode is all about taking a closer look at 5 reasons why quiet people are a narcissist's worst nightmare. Let's get started with reason number 1, which is quiet people are extremely unpredictable. You see, narcissists need to know what's coming next. They build their manipulative strategies on how you usually respond. They need to read you. When you cry, shout, explain yourself, or plead, they take mental notes. They know what button to press next time. But when you become quiet, that script goes out of the window. You do not react the way you used to. You stop explaining, you stop justifying, you stop feeding them with predictable emotional responses, and that throws them off completely. They begin to spiral in confusion. Are you still under their control? Is he or she pulling away? Has he or she seen through me? Are they planning something? What are they up to? What are they doing? Their minds start to panic because they cannot read you anymore. They cannot know what is going on. And when they can't read you, they cannot manipulate you. Unpredictability, as I've said before, makes them anxious. It's like being blindfolded on a battlefield. They lose their tactical advantage. Your silence creates a space for uncertainty they cannot tolerate. That's why they try harder to get a reaction. And when they fail, it unsettles them to their core. Reason number 2, quiet people observe and see through the mask. Quiet people are not distracted by noise. They pay attention to the little things like micro expressions, tone shifts, the energy in the room. They pick up on inconsistencies in stories, contradictions in behavior, and subtle forms of manipulation. When you are not constantly reacting or defending yourself, you are noticing things instead. And narcissists, they hate that. Their mask, so carefully crafted with so many efforts, starts to slip under your steady, silent gaze. You start seeing patterns others easily miss. You see the cruelty behind the charm, the lies hidden in the flattery. To a narcissist, this kind of perception is the life threatening. They fear exposure more than anything. Being truly seen is their worst nightmare. Because if someone can see them for who they really are, they cannot hide anymore, can they? And when they cannot hide, they cannot control the narrative. Game lost. Your ability to quietly watch and listen is more dangerous to them than a loud confrontation. You become a mirror they cannot manipulate, a mirror that reflects the truth back at them. And the truth is something they have spent their entire life trying to escape. Reason number 3, silence denies narcissists emotional fuel. Narcissists survive on attention. We all know that. Praise, admiration, drama, fights, anything that puts them at the center feeds them. They do not care whether the attention is positive or negative. As long as you are emotionally invested, they are winning. But silence is emotional starvation. It is the quiet refusal to engage. And for narcissists, it is unbearable. They'll poke you, provoke you, guilt you, bait you, just to get something out of you. A sigh, a glare, a frustrated text, basically anything. When you remain calm and silent, they start to panic because it signals something really dangerous to them. You may be moving on. You may be healing. You may be seeing their tricks and deciding not to play anymore, or who knows, you may be building your case. Silence sends a powerful message. It says, "You're not worth my energy." And that kind of dismissal terrifies them. It makes them feel irrelevant. And to someone who survives on external validation, needs it all the time, being irrelevant is like being dead. Reason number 4. Quiet confidence is intimidating to a narcissist. Confidence usually makes a narcissist feel either competitive or envious. But quiet confidence, calm, grounded internal confidence, completely throws them off. They do not understand how someone can be powerful without needing praise, without acting out. They don't understand how someone can feel worthy without being loud. It doesn't add up. Your quiet self-assurance stands in contrast to their deep inner insecurity. You do not chase validation. You do not over-explain. You do not crumble under criticism. And that drives them crazy because the whole game they're playing is built on the assumption that they have power over you, your self-worth, that they can manipulate you, trick you into reacting. When they see that you already know your worth, that your peace cannot be bought or broken, they actually feel powerless whether they admit it or not. Your presence alone becomes a boundary. Your silence becomes a message. I see you. And I am not afraid because I do not need you. That kind of calm strength is intimidating because they cannot compete with it. They can't shake it. They can't use it. And when they cannot dominate, they lose interest or they become even more desperate to break you, to get ahead in the game. Reason number 5 and the last one. Quiet people hold the power of boundaries. How? Quiet people often set the strongest boundaries, believe me or not. Not with shouting, but with silence. They do not engage in pointless arguments. They do not fall into traps. They do not explain themselves to people who aren't listening. They're not going to tell you what they will do. They'll just do it. They just walk away. They disengage. They go no contact. And they do it without drama. That kind of boundary is powerful because it is not up for discussion. Narcissists are used to pushing people until they get what they want, which could be a reaction. But when a quiet person draws a line and enforces it with consistent, calm detachment, it is game over. Silence says, I won't play, and that is the last thing a narcissist wants to hear, because without your participation, the performance falls apart. Your silence breaks the cycle. Your absence takes away their stage. Every time you do not answer that text, every time you walk away from bait, every time you resist the urge to explain, you are reclaiming your power, and that, to a narcissist, is terrifying. In the end, your quietness is not a weakness. It is a superpower. It holds within it awareness, boundaries, inner peace, and emotional strength. Narcissists do not know what to do with people they cannot control, they cannot provoke, and cannot read. So don't be afraid of your silence. Stand in it. Let it speak for you, because in that silence lies your freedom, your healing, and your truth. That was it for today's episode. Let me know in the comments what you think about being a quiet person in this context. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.